And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. We have on the line Kathy Kelly. She's in Afghanistan and Kabul right now, and she's made the comments that the United States just needs to get the military out. I'm not sure what obligation we have, how much we broke and how much we got to fix, or better off we just leave. But she has she's there on the ground, and she's going to give us perspective of the people there. And I just know what's going to happen. We're going to be amping this up. Pakistan, it's going to be Israel, Afghanistan. We got to have war. Got to have war. Got to distract from whatever our woes here. And military-industrial complex is going to have something to do and spend goodies on it. This is the way it is. But Kathy wanted to make sure that she had an opportunity to tell us about a program, some way she's trying to help there. And I wanted to give her an opportunity to go ahead and promote that. Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, your listeners and readers of your newsletter could go to the website Journey to Smile. Just spell that out, Journey to Smile, and there find out details about a very simple thing people could do on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and that's just to call Afghanistan or Skype or send a Facebook or a Twitter or a Gmail message and be part of what we're hoping will be a pretty massive number of people who are expressing their desire for peace in Afghanistan. And you'd basically be sending a message to the Afghan Youth Peace Volunteers. And that's a really extraordinary group of youngsters that I and Ann Wright and others have been privileged to be with over the last, I came here on December 10th, and I'd also met them in November for about a month. So it's a simple thing to do, but I think if people worldwide take advantage of this opportunity, we might get another indicator of public opinion, which certainly here in Afghanistan, and according to polls in the United States, overwhelmingly wants to see an end to this war.
I'm in full agreement. Now, one thing, Ms. Wright, I wanted to find out why she would leave the service of United States government and become an activist in Afghanistan. What's her story? What motivated her to do that?
Well, Colonel Ann Wright had certainly been part of many, many diplomatic missions, and she had opened the embassy here in 2001. In fact, while we were here together, it was interesting. Some of the embassy employees were thrilled that she was back in town. But as a matter of conscience, she resigned when the United States invaded Iraq. She said that this was not a war that was in keeping with the United States goals and aims anywhere in the region or in the Middle East, and so as an act of protest, as an act of conscience, she resigned her post. But I think she's never stopped serving the United States. She's been crisscrossing the country and really the globe, trying to help educate people, and she's just simply a superb person to be with in circumstances like this because of her education and also her goodwill and her ability to be a real team player. So we've been thrilled to have her here. She just left 2 days ago.
Kathy, I'm really glad that you got up because there I know it's after midnight, and it's almost 1 o'clock probably, and you're coming on to be able to share with us something that I think is important at the end of the year here, because what do you anticipate is going to be the response from the U.S. military in regards to our foreign policy in Afghanistan and Pakistan? Do you see them as the same thing? Is the United States military viewing Pakistan and Afghanistan as the same theater, or are they treating them differently? And what do you think the future is in Afghanistan? And then I want to get into what's the perspective from the people that you deal with on a daily basis? Do they see Afghanistan as their country? Is it they got like a national soccer team or something? Do they have the same kind of, vision like an American would as, it's all America? Or are they just their tribal leader is their allegiance? I mean, I need to get a cultural perspective on this, but let's go ahead and start off with what do you anticipate our foreign policy is going to be and how it's going to affect the lives of the people there in Kabul going into just the next couple of months?
Well, President Obama issued a December review, which had been anticipated earlier in this year as a real review, a real evaluation. But closer to the date of being issued, the military people assured, look, nothing is going to change. This December review is a diagnostic. That's what they called it. I don't know what that means. And the reviews mentioned nothing about humanitarian concerns here. There was no mention of unemployment, of starvation, of the 850 children who die every single day here in Afghanistan. President Obama's review didn't mention anything about corruption and the many ways that it influences the lives of people and the inadequacy of the United States with all the billions of dollars that have been poured into NGOs, groups like United States Aid, USAID, 80% of which, by their own accounts, go back to their own organizations and consulting companies in Washington, D.C. They're sometimes referred to as the Beltway Bandits. There was only the assurance to people in the United States, which I think was a fake assurance, that significant progress is being made. But even if you only look at military indicators, it's not true that the United States is reducing the number of people willing to fight for various armed opposition groups, nor is it true that the United States is militarily being able to secure more areas in Afghanistan. Rather, the United States has been very, very active militarily in the Helmand and the Kandahar provinces, and many of the Taliban groups have moved up north or moved into the northeast. And in terms of security, people aren't experiencing food security, for instance. It's not easy for people to get by in the area of Bamyan, where I spent a good deal of time in October, and I'm now with youngsters from Bamyan here in Kabul. Potato farmers, simple potato farmers, they work so hard. I was saying earlier, the boys get up sometimes at 2 in the morning to go on donkey out to try and collect scrub brush and whatever lumber they might find on the mountainsides, just so they can provide heat for their families. And then every day of his life since he was 7 years old, 15-year-old Abdul Ali has gone out again on donkey and collected water and gone around to the neighboring families to deliver water. This is what he does from 6 o'clock in the morning until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day of his life. And for this, he earns $6 in a day, which is not a bad sum, actually, compared to his neighbors. Anyway, I want to make the point that people work hard, but they don't see any improvements. I mean, they get 2 hours of electricity in the middle of the night. So even though these boys would like to study, and they do go to school when they're through with their chores, they can't study because there's no electricity at night.
You know, thanks for giving us. Now we're going into break. We'll be right back, and thanks for giving us a kind of a human view of the people there. And we'll start getting into politics and policy and how they view the United States and I wouldn't even say their government, but the government in Afghanistan. We'll get to that when we come back here on Declare Your Independence in just a little bit.